Hey everybody, it's Brandon the Weekend Cruiser, where I go on a weekend cruise just about every weekend. And I just got off of Utopia of the Seas, and I had an amazing time, but I wanted to come on here and talk about one of the biggest questions I got on Utopia of the Seas weekend cruise. And the first one was, is it always like this? That was a very popular question. And then the second question that I kept getting was, is the Utopia of the Seas a booze cruise, Brandon? Like, what do you think? And I wanted to come on and first of all apologize to you all if you don't already know my response to this, or you don't know what you're getting yourself into in the Utopia of the Seas weekend cruise. I do weekends just about every weekend, right? So I'm very familiar with them, but I forget that others don't know what it means to be a weekend cruise. And so I wanted to share with you my thoughts on how a weekend cruise is different than a 4-night, a 5-night, and certainly different than a 7-night, so that you know what to expect if you choose to go on Utopia of the Seas for a weekend cruise, or really any weekend cruise for that matter. So the first one is, let's talk about people's mindset when they go onto a weekend cruise. Now, if you are coming onto a weekend cruise, chances are you're going to be part of a group. You're going to be with a group of people who are trying to get away for a weekend. Think going to Vegas, going to Nashville, whatever the big city is by you. This is kind of them going out and saying, hey, let's have a really great, fun weekend. So you're going to see bachelor parties, bachelorette parties. You're going to see quinceañeras. You're going to see bat mitzvahs, all sorts of parties and anniversaries are going to be celebrated on here. And that just brings out the energy in everyone. When you're with a large group of friends, like especially if it's a bachelorette party, Sweet 16, it's going to be super high energy. And so that's what you can kind of expect from a demographic to be on the ship. It's also a short cruise. So what I mean by that is you don't have to commit to full-on energy for an entire 7-night sailing. You only got to do it for 3 days, really more like 2.5 days. You get to have high energy, and people do that. They come here again with that intent. And so knowing that it is a short period, that also is going to drive your alcohol package sales. So this absolutely makes it a booze cruise. If you look at a weekend cruise, even Utopia of the Seas, and say what percentage of people got the alcohol package versus other cruises, it will be a much different number. Bartenders love being on a weekend because they make tons of money off of the drink package, the deluxe drink package for Royal Caribbean. And it's an easy one because for 3 days, you can probably get your money's worth. Actually, on this one, I think that it's well worth your money. You will get your money's worth. But on a 7-night, I don't know if most people can hang that long over a full 7-night. And so when it's 3 days, they're here for a really good time with a group of people. They are going to live their best life and take full advantage of that drink package. The itineraries also help with it being a booze cruise or a party crowd. You're going to find that the itinerary for Utopia of the Seas is, number one, going to stop in Nassau, Bahamas. A lot of people are going to choose to stay on the ship in Nassau. This is something that they've done different on Utopia is they have made the pool, they turned it into a day club in Nassau. So if you do stay on the ship, and I know a lot of people do, it's not a quiet experience anymore. It is a party experience. So people are going to be drinking and enjoying themselves a lot more. You're also going to have Perfect Day at Coco Cay as your second stop on Utopia of the Seas, where your drink package is also going to work. So I find that on Utopia of the Seas, more people are going to Hideaway Beach because they are seeking out the adults only high energy DJ party experience and vibe. The ultimate weekend cruise, as Utopia of the Seas is marketed, is a party ship. Its marketing is party. It's got Hideaway Beach they built for it, which is also a party. That's what you're going to find on a weekend with Utopia of the Seas, is a party ship. And I think Royal Caribbean has done a solid job of really changing the atmosphere on the ship. Now, when they build new ships, they're always trying to improve it. This Utopia of the Seas is what, the 7th Oasis class ship that is out there. Keep me honest in my number here. But they always make little changes. They've done that with Utopia of the Seas, and I'll make another video about what the physical changes are. But the atmosphere has changed on Utopia of the Seas. They said that, hey, this is going to be our largest weekend at sea. And they stepped up their game in a lot of areas to make it that ultimate weekend. The first thing is the staff. The staff there were amazing. They were high energy. They knew who their customers were, that they were there to have fun and to enjoy themselves. From there, you're going to notice that the music is noticeably louder everywhere on the ship. That was a comment I heard a lot was, is it always this loud? I mean, this is louder, right? And it is absolutely louder. If you're walking through the promenade, it is going to be louder. If you are going to one of the singers and dancers shows, it's not that it's louder, but it is much higher energy than what you would have seen in other singer and dancer production shows. They've done a wonderful job here. They actually decided not to put a Broadway show on a weekend cruise. Huge, shout out to Royal Caribbean for recognizing that that's not the right thing. You've got the Allure doing weekends right now with Mamma Mia, but people on a weekend don't want to sit through 2-3 hour production shows. They want to get in, have a really great experience, and then get out to say that they did it. And they do that on Utopia. The singers and dancers there are wonderful. They kept a really large cast of people that are up there, and they're all doing this new choreography. They've got huge energy that they're bringing from the stage. The LED screen behind them has wonderful projections. It's almost an immersive experience, and they did a really good job with that. You're also going to have parties every single night. And this is also different than other weekend cruises. The big party normally happens on Saturday night, and that's going to be in Studio B. In Utopia of the Seas, there's a big party every single night in Studio B. They didn't say, hey, let's just have one night where we go all out. They want you to go all out every single night. And when you bring a large group of people into Studio B, the atmosphere changes and it is an amazing time. And so you're going to have Rendezvous Party on the first night. You're going to have the Red Party on the second night. And the third night, they kind of step it down a wee little bit and they do the Hush Silent Disco, which is a huge crowd favorite. On Utopia of the Seas, they've got 3 DJs spinning up for the Hush Silent Disco, so there's no telling what the person beside of you is going to be listening to. And I'll also mention, this is a smaller one, but the casino is packed with people. They're bringing on a ton of comped players or people that are getting their free cruises for the casino, and they're booking Utopia of the Seas. It's one of the most, actually it's not actually the most expensive cruise. That's going to be Disney. The most expensive weekend with Royal Caribbean, at least, is Utopia of the Seas. And so people are saying, hey, if I get a free cruise, like, let's book the nicest one, the most expensive one. And so the casino is packed. So it truly feels like when you're in Vegas, when you're in there, the atmosphere is great. There's tons of people around the tables. If you enjoy that experience, it is definitely a high energy weekend kind of vibe. So with all those changes and all the things that they have done a really good job. Royal Caribbean has done a really good job with making this the ultimate weekend cruise. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it. I'm not a big ship person at the end of the day, but the atmosphere has totally shifted on board this ship compared to the weekends on Allure or the random weekends I've done on Oasis for a weekend. The atmosphere on Utopia of the Seas is honestly one of my favorites. I think they did a lot of good, they had a lot of good ideas and they implemented those to bring you truly the ultimate weekend cruise. All right, everybody, this is Brandon, the Weekend Cruiser, hoping to see you on a weekend cruise soon. And if you want to come and cruise with me one day, check out the Group Cruise newsletter down below to stay in touch with all group cruises that are coming up and how you can join me on the high seas.